David, thank you. Now to this morning's health check. Many people suffer low back pain, but sometimes that pain is due to a larger problem, such as a bulging disc or a pinched nerve. For those hoping to avoid going under the knife, there is a treatment option that is non-surgical. It's called spinal decompression. And so the practice works through a series of decompression and relaxation cycles that relieves pressure on the affected disc.
Basically, lower back pain. It had been going on for several months, and I went to a surgeon, I guess, and he referred me to a pain management clinic. And they gave me a couple of steroid shots, just a temporary fix. Then I read in the paper about the possibility of this. I guess I had some skepticism, but I was willing to try it, and it worked out great. Well, he looked at the MRI, I guess, and saw the problem, and he said, "I think we can do you some good." And so I was all ears, you know, because there wasn't any surgery involved. Probably 98% good. Occasionally I have a little bit of back pain, but it goes away real quick. You know, I just don't have any. I'm just back to like it was before I had any pain, really. I did a series of 20 treatments. In the second one, I could tell it was definitely some improvement, and it just continued to get better. I would say give it a try. I didn't know there was such a thing as the decompression. My only experience had been back surgery, but this really worked in my case, and I would highly recommend it.
For about a year, I had a little bit of pain in my left tricep and in my left upper back. It had been going on for a year to 18 months, not really bad pain, but it was just there, and I thought it was a just pulled muscle pain from lifting a workout with a solo flex. One day I went to do a bench press on my solo flex, and I had no strength at all. I couldn't even lift it. And then that same day I went to do dips, which I've been doing these for years, maybe 15 of them. I couldn't even hold my body weight up. So I was able to do some of the exercises on the solo flex, but anything dealing with the tricep I couldn't even do, and that happened within 24 hours. So I went to a series of doctors and visits, and got a couple of MRIs, and found out that I had 2 major bulging discs in my neck area and one that was bulging a little bit. I went over the treatment with a doctor, and it was going to be surgery, and I had already had my left knee repaired on Halloween, so 3 weeks later I was scheduled to go in to have the discs in 2 of my vertebrae removed and in my neck and have them fused together. And I'd read a lot about it, I'd studied a lot about it, and done some homework on it, and I knew that they had a really good business when, like I said, office in the same building with them. So my only concern was I figured it didn't work for everybody in every single case, but I was willing to give it a try, knowing that if it didn't work, that at least I tried all of my options before I went under the knife and had surgery. I have some customers that I was able to visit with about the success of some of their operations. A few of them had neck operations in the past, and almost without question, every one of them had problems. So that's not where I wanted to go if I could keep from doing it. But at the time, my pain was very, very, very intense and getting worse every day. Well, I think one of the things I liked is that I knew going in that they would tell me if they could help me, and he said that there were a lot of cases they can help people, and if they can't help you, they're going to send you somewhere else. But this was a case that he was pretty sure that he could get fixed, and the chances were 95%. It's been, enough time now to know that if it's coming back, and I feel really good. I have use of my tricep now. I can do the dips. I've got my strength back, and I was really worried about that because I know that if you go too long, there can be permanent nerve damage and you don't get your use of your muscles back. So I'm very, very happy with what happened, and hadn't had to go back and having surgeries or anything like that, which is great, and understand what was done. They spent a lot of time with me explaining the science of the whole thing. and you know, I can say right now that I'm pain-free.
Well, I had severe pain in my left side, and it's coming out my left hip. But I've had bulging discs since back in the mid-'80s, and I had pain before and was going to some other doctors and took the shots in the back, and that would help a while, and then it'd come back, and of course I might re-hurt it doing things I do. So, and I was on a walker when I come in here. I'd seen this advertised, and so I told my wife, I said, well, pull in there and let's see if they can see me. And as luck would have it, they had a cancellation and got me in a couple of hours, and explained everything to me and explained the program. I took 8 treatments before I was pain-free, but it went to getting better after about the 3rd or 4th treatment. They felt good once they get you on that machine and go to stretching you. Oh, it felt good. And then they put the stimulators on you, and that really felt good. And yeah, it was no pain at all. I mean, I still had pain, but the machine wasn't causing it. So it's just been a godsend for me. So.
About 4.5 years ago, I had a spasm in my body where my body just, the entire body tied up in a knot, and I was laying on the floor and couldn't do a single thing except writhe in pain. For that, for the next 3.5 years, I had a tingling in my left leg from my hip all the way down to the mid shin. It felt like somebody else, when you go to the dentist and they numb your mouth, how it feels on the cheek, tingly and not really feels like yours. That's the way my whole leg felt. I got to where I was just barely moving. I couldn't stand on one leg. It was hard to dress myself and put my socks on. And, didn't have the balance that I always had, and things just started deteriorating. Work, it affected family, it affected everything in my life that I was doing. And then after the first treatment here at the Spine Center, all of that went away, the numbness, except for a spot about 2 inches in diameter on the inside of my left knee. And it just got better from there. And each time they would do a treatment on me, I could notice a little bit of difference where it was better and better and better. And now I just barely have any residue of that left. One of the best things I've ever had in my body. It made me feel 10 years younger by the time I got through. I had spring in my step that I'd forgotten that I had. You know, you don't realize you have it until it's gone. And then when it comes back, you know, you're so glad that you have that spring in your step again.
I had 4 herniated discs. They were giving me a lot of pain. I had problems with my back down through the years, but as I've gotten older, it's progressively gotten more painful. Finally, it just got to a place where I couldn't hardly stand it anymore. I had to do something. It's allowing my body to heal itself, and that's what I wanted. I didn't really want any surgery if I could help it. I just wanted it as natural as possible, and it's working. And of course, I've been telling everybody what's happening, and been telling my wife. I said, I don't have any more back pain.